Hi guys, I'm back with the second emergency reading, trying to catch up with so much going on. Also, of course, Conor Lamb did really well in Pennsylvania. It's thought that he's won. There are a few outstanding absentee votes to be counted, but apparently I heard a lot of them were from the military, and you'd have to think they'd go for him as an ex-Marine. So hopefully he's got it in the bag, because at the end of the day, with all this stuff that's happening, what matters is how the electorate votes. And so it's another little nail in the Republican coffin, and let's hope the trend continues. Also, the students who had the walkout on Wednesday, and 1 million students walked out about gun control, and that's only the preview, March 24th. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be the biggest marches since Vietnam. And if you get a chance to go yourselves, I'm sure you'd find it really, really heartening to be part of that movement in any way. And even if you don't, go the young things, because really they are the future, and they're the ones who are looking at these lawmakers going, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is how you're voting? So this is what a change looks like, groovers. There'll be chaos, there'll be dramas, and there'll be heartwarming, wonderful moments. So moving towards, let's hope, a big rout in the midterms. Now, I thought we needed just a bit of sleaze and gossip to lighten up with. So I have resisted doing a Stormy Daniels reading. And it hasn't gone away. Whenever I see that name, I'm reminded of that game, you used to play as teenagers, How to Find Your Porn Name. You use the name of your first pet and the first street you lived on. Never liked that game, because that made me Muscles Kennedy. Do you think it'd work in porn? Not sure, not for a girl. So here we are with Stormy Daniels. Now, the reason I'm bothering with Stormy Daniels is, A, it hasn't gone away, but it hasn't gone away for a couple of interesting reasons. One is, excuse me, that she is challenging the non-disclosure agreement, and that's important because Trump makes everybody who comes in his orbit sign a non-disclosure agreement. And apparently lawyers have said these are not the usual non-disclosure agreements. They're very, very onerous and over the top. So if she wins that, that means it's a door open for a lot of other people who have worked for Trump, other than as porn stars. So that's important. And the other thing is, which is my personal favourite story of the last news cycle, and that would be Jill somebody or other, who was one of Trump's Trump Enterprise lawyers, and she signed the original gag order. I'm sure you've all seen it on the news. And her address was, I wrote it down because it's such a classic, Jill Martin, her name is. She signed the original gag order, and her address was 1 Trump National Drive, Rancho Palos Verdes. It's one of his golf courses. So here you have a Trump Enterprise lawyer who apparently lives on a golf course. And she wouldn't be bent at all. And I think this is gold. I think it's these sort of things. They're all little in themselves, but it's death by 1,000 cuts about proving corruption in the campaign. So let's see, Trump and Stormy Daniels. The question will be, how will it impact on Trump? The Stormy Daniels drama, the impact on Trump. Stormy Daniels stuff. Stormy Daniels and Trump. All right, let's have a looky. Oh. Down we go. Okay, there she is in many ways. Okay, I'm going to do a block spread on this, so just give me a moment to put out the cards. All right. Stormy, how I love you, how I love it. Okay. Here's what's happening, I think, as I see it now. Stormy, riding forth, kind of fearless, has had a little victory. First, not the big one, has had little ones. The fact the case is still ongoing is a victory, right? And it hasn't been thrown out at this stage. So that is her, the messenger, coming, galloping along into this scenario. Right. Past, present, future. So in the past, Queen of Pentacles. With these cards, particularly when we've been dealing with all these atrocious and corrupt and filthy beings in the Trump administration, there tends to be a particular way you interpret the cards. We forget, at least I forget, don't know about other readers, but I forget from time to time, because of dealing with all this, that Pentacles is also about the body. And if you think of it this way, money in the body. So, and she was, don't forget, Stormy was a porn star. She wasn't some poor, nameless, exploited woman who was sort of done over by the sex trade. She was a porn star. She didn't have a problem with the way she earned her money. Queen of Pentacles. She was good at what she did. Right? But, let me pass. In terms of the relationship with Trump, because that's what this is about, she was disappointed. Now, was she disappointed? Because don't forget they had an affair. He denies it, but anything out of his lips is meaningless. What she's talking about is an affair. It wasn't a one-night stand, and it wasn't a total sexual transaction thing. She maintains it was an affair. So she was disappointed when he left her, whether to go off with the next Stormy Daniels or whether to pretend and remind himself he was married or whatever, or flirting with the next bit of skirt that went around his desk. She was a bit disappointed. She thought it might go a little bit further. Maybe not marriage and stepmotherhood, but I think she was a bit surprised. I think he ended it. She felt ripped off and betrayed. Didn't expect this. This is interesting. Anyway, the cards speak. So, that's when she got a little bit cranky. Okay. Then, in the current column, this, I think, is about Stormy, Stormy, Stormy. Okay, so the Page of Cups. Oh, I haven't got a pillow. The Page of Cups, bringing a message. She sure did. I'm coming to tell the world about what we did. Now, I'll get a bit more into what she's actually talking about here. This can be a card of, as I've said many times, illusion and delusion. So she might have been thought of as delusional to actually bring this case at this time. You haven't got a hope of getting up against the sitting president. But you know what? It's still ticking over. She is very articulate, right? So she has good legal advice, but she's very articulate. So I haven't heard the woman speak, but from what I've read, she interviews well, and also apparently she is the best combat person against Twitter trolls. She has been inundated with trolls, and instead of just deleting them and moving on, she answers a good proportion of them, and she's so quick and so snipey and so scary, they don't get back. So she just has to deal with trolls one time and they are gone. So I'm sorry, I'm a bit impressed. Okay, so she has a way with words. Is she after the money? Well, duh. I'm not saying she's not after the money. I think she is after the money, and I think she's after big money, much more than 130 grand. They really sold her short when she got to the fine print on that one. If she wins this case and goes with, you know, the book, the film, the rights on everything, she's going to cash in big time. So that is her motivation. But at the same time, it comes from a position of hurt. Okay. So how much more has she got to say becomes the question too. She's already divulged, apparently in an interview in 2006 or 2011 or sometime way back, that the sex itself was quite vanilla, meat and potatoes sex. So it's not as though she's likely to reveal Trump hanging in a latex tutu from the ceiling. More is the pity, really. Don't we all need that image? No, it's not more grime. It's more the nature of how it was handled and not handled. Okay. So, coming down this road, the near future. Honey, she's sitting on a fortune, as they used to say. So, this could be read as a his and hers card. She's holding in the stories, and he, Trump, is holding in the truth. He's holding in his side of events, other to say that it didn't happen. I mean, really. So both sides at this stage are legally bound, holding on. Okay. How's it looking down the track? Well, she has, the stormy side, has the High Priestess. Now, deep hidden knowledge, deep female knowledge, not mysterious in a porn star. So, she still has a lot of dirt to give. Okay. And he must be freaked out, or at least his legals should are freaked out. I don't think he worries about anything much. Nothing stays in the empty cranium, you know, longer than it takes to eat a hamburger. So no, he's not worried. He's, you know, pissed off. It's another thing he has to deal with that won't go away. It's another wart in his life. But he doesn't worry the way a normal person would worry about the things he's got on his plate. So, what this card indicates too is she's also in for the long haul. She's not going to go away. She's on a mission. The war horse, the mercenary, she's on a mission. She's up for hire. Oh, God, it's hard to stay away from the bad puns and stuff, isn't it, when you're talking about a porn star? But no, she's in for the long haul. She's in for the highest bidder. She knows just by keeping this alive, she's making money. So this isn't going to go away for the Donald. And as I said at the very beginning of this, that's important because if she wins, we'll hear a lot more serious and interesting dirt from other people. So, having been bored with the very name Stormy Daniels, I'm now on Stormy's side. Go girl. Bye.